Now, ones, um, just came from Bosch now. I just wanted to recap. I know there's a whole lot of new people that's following the first bar now. So I just wanted to recap on the traces I use in winter. Okay, there's basically three traces that we will use in winter. And I'm gonna show you guys. I'm not gonna let anything go to waste because I bought me this thing from Timo where I can put my traces in. Okay, one thing I think there's about say 15 traces that I can do ready made and just put it in here. I've also gotten me some. How's this first band merch? I need banana. But yeah, once I'm gonna show you now. It's just a recap because it's stuff we've been doing. So it's a recap on what we will use on Falls Bay, on the Falls Bay coast. There is a few. There is a look. Everybody has their own way of doing things, but this is how we do it. And we've got a lot of people that asked us, that were asking us, how do we get Steenbras here? And I'm also going to give you maybe the conditions that we are looking for when we do target Steenbras here. All right. So first thing is, we have my line here. Normally I cut off from this white floats, right? I'll cut a piece of this, and then this is all I do. This is enough for my float, for my flotation on my white floats. I will use boogies like this from Suburban, from Warwick. He will sort you out with these. If you do one, instead of the red floats, I'll use the yellow floats. If I run out of the yellow floats, I use the red floats. This is all to target Steenbras. As you know, Steenbras is a fish. He likes to. He has good eyesight. So yeah, we try to. But I enjoy using this white floats. It's been working for me. It's been working very well for me. Yeah, see, yeah, he caught a nice one with his yellow floats, and we've been catching that small ones with the yellow floats also. Yeah, I got this. This is mainly for the couple toe, and yeah. So as you know, we use running traces. So what we do is we will use two of these. We will use one for the main line and the hook trace, and one for your sliding, where we slide the sinker trace. Okay, you will see that in all my videos because I like to use running traces. So basically, for Steenbras, I like to make a 600 to 700, whatever you want. 600 to 700 millimeters long of hook trace. And the first thing I'll do is I'll take my 3.0 or 2.0 hook. Okay, it doesn't matter what type of hook, what the brand of hook, but mainly you use a 3.0 or a 2.0 hook. This is mainly for this Steenbras here by us because they are extreme, especially the big ones. They are extremely scallum. So we're going over our finger, once, twice, three times through the hole. There's your figure of 8. Make him a bitchy knot, and then you pull him tight, right? So your first hook, always you're using your figure of 8, right? And then hook, man. And then this is the trace that I prefer or I like to use. Okay, then I have a 3.0 or a 2.0 circle on top. I'll tell you why a 3.0 or a 4.0 circle on top. Okay, so I'm using a 4.0 here, and then I'll just do my way of the snell. Guys, your circle hooks, make sure you snell them. Otherwise the hook is not going to sit. So make sure your circle hooks are snelled. Unless you're using a smaller hook, a 3.0 or a 2.0 circle hook, then you just tie it with a figure of 8. Okay. So yeah, basically that is my trace. The reason why we use J-hook in front is when we use a bloodworm, right? The main thing I use is bloodworm on our coast. So to slide on a bloodworm through a circle hook in front is very difficult. If you did already, you will see that it's not very difficult, but it's much easier with a J-hook in front. So that is basically why I use this. Also, the smaller fish, you will catch him on this. You will catch the steenbras on this J-hook as well. Most of the time, I tend to catch my steenbras on my second hook. But yeah, and then after that, guys, check my line there, and then I'll take a normal J-hook, and I will show you now how I do this as well. Because I see a lot of Owens, they just put it through like they put in this one. I like to do this. So I put it through. I put it through there. Pull it down in, right? And then what I do is I put it right through. Okay, I won't stitch it through. I'll put it right through. You understand? And that is when this float does get wet, you will see that it will it like sticks to the line, man. And then the float doesn't move up and down on your trace because we want our float to stay where it is. So there you will see the float will stay where it is. It won't move up when the line is tense. Okay. And yeah, you will see a lot of the times if you just snell it through, not like this, if you don't put it right through, if you just push it through like that, you will see that when your float comes out, it's sitting like this. Because when you cast, the float tends to move up. But with this, your float stays there at the bottom, right? Yeah. Leave a little bit of a space, little bit of play room, of room for the hook to sit. Okay, if you're gonna put it right down, the hook is gonna sit straight like that, and there's no real leeway for it to sit. So I just leave a bit of an opening there, and then I'll put on my obviously my there's your steenbras trace, guys. 600. There's about 600. So yeah, depending on how the water is, you will shorten this trace. So if the water is a bit more wild, you will shorten your trace. Also, guys, the float I only use mostly I only will use on the side of the coast because of all the crabs. So we just need to get a little bit of flotation so the crab just doesn't get to that very quickly. You will see that if you don't use a float, there will be many crabs that's just eating on your line and eating on the bait, and then your bait comes out clean within a few minutes of it laying there. So yeah, that's the first trace I wanted to show you. Second trace, oh yeah, and this is 0.5 fluorocarbon, and this one is 0.6 fluorocarbon. That's the only two I will use. Even for coupled also I use 0.6. Okay, strong enough, good enough. Yeah, use 5. Second trace, guys, very simple. You can put like exactly the same, but you're just using now a circle. So I will use my another 4 circle, and what I'll do is I'll do my way of the snell. Bam. Always remember the snell from back to front is your last movement, so you would want that effect. You will see that the hook has a bit of a curl on it. Okay, we just want to snip off this part here, and bam. I will always also use this one hook. I'll either put maybe a doogie with it or a boogie with it, or I will put one of these. I'll put well, cut me one of these up and put one of those also on the then we can slat the brush, guys. We can slat the brush. If you're wondering what I'm having some nice faluda and some cravings from the big bites, big corn bites, right? So yeah, and then all you do is attach your running trace, and then bam, there's your second trace done. Then the last one, I know that Sheikh likes to use this one. Sheikh enjoys using this one. Let me just show you guys. Um, I know Sheikh likes to use the 2 circles. Sheikh likes to use 2 circles. I'll take 2 3 circles. I will tie the one normally because just look at that gap there. If I'm going to snell it, the snell is going to make the gap a little bit smaller for the hook, for the dinosaur. So and Radamay explains it nicely on why we do that. But anyways, so we're doing a normal figure of 8 here on the first hook and the second hook. You can even use the normal a J hook. You can even use a J hook at the start. Okay, as your first hook, and then your second hook, push it through, back to front. Alright, come back to front, and then you leave this hook loose. Right, I'll show you now. Then you take your swivel, attach it. 1 2 3. Attach your swivel, and then bam, bob's your ankle. And then, guys, very important. Once you've put your hook, your bait on, okay, this hook is still loose. All you're doing is you're doing that with the hook. Then the hook doesn't move up. Right? So I'm gonna show you now, okay? So here your hook is loose, right? You put in your worm, what might be a full worm, might be a long worm, a short, a half worm like the first band do. So basically a half worm will probably be like this, right? And then you're putting in your circle, and then all you're doing is you're twisting your line around the hook once, and then that hook doesn't move. Okay, so it will stay there until a fish bites, and then you will see that the hook will be at the bottom. You understand? But it's enough to let the hook sit. Okay, so depending on how long you bait, how long your worm is, yeah, that's all. That's what the Sheikh uses. Okay, so I've shown you now two steenbras tracer. Two steenbras tracer, guys. Please, vang 'n bull steenbras now. And when you do vang 'n bull steenbras, let me know. Let us know. So we can be proud of 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 of, of what we've taught you. Yeah, it was. What will also work good on the for the steenbras. Always use a running trace for steenbras. Always. Don't use a fixed trace. You can catch them on fixed traces, but here by us, use the running trace. It's much better. You will get better hookup percentages. Your hookup percentage will be much better. All right, guys. Yeah. Um, yeah. For the conditions, guys. For the conditions. A Noordwind. The net steenbras is here. Low tide. Lekker. Low tide. Pushing tide on the drop. What we found is on the drop we're getting we get more steenbras on the drop tide. Or yeah, don't be afraid to fish low tide for steenbras, guys. Steenbras can swim in so much water. A steenbras, a big steenbras can swim in so much water on a bank. If the bank is so much water, you can swim on that water, in that water. So yeah, Owens. You see, all of this is just advice, Owens. Do whatever you want to do. Whatever works for you, works for you. You don't have to do what we're doing. Maybe just try it out and you catch a ball. And you let us know if you did use it. Yeah, I don't know what else. Um, Everything else stays the same. My leader stays the same. I use a 0.6 leader. I use a 0.6 leader. The Spurline leader, I use that. Or I'll use a 0.6, or I'll get me some maximum as well. I don't always use fluorocarbon. I will also use this line for my hook trays. Fluorocarbon is very expensive. Yeah, Owens. Go to horses and find your steenbrasjes. Owens, yeah. Yeah, Owens. Safe. Oh yeah, there's one more thing that Uncle Shuru told me. I must use the crab. My daddy also told me use crab, but I just didn't want to. I don't know why I just didn't want to, but yeah. So this season, instead of using a whole lot of bloodworm every time, I'm gonna put on a stick crab with a 4 or 5 circle hook. I will show you when we do start fishing and we get crab, and then I'll show you how to rig up the crab, and then yeah, throw the crab in, and then you wait. Much better. It lasts longer on the hook and all of those things. So for the crab, I'll use the trace, the one hook trace, right? But yeah, once I'm gonna start using crab. So if you do think, oh, what bait are they using? What bait is he using tonight? There's gonna be crab in the mix, okay? But yeah, safe.